Hi folks, I'm Mr. Caden back again to talk about blogging for another day. Let's go ahead and get started with that. I want to start with a quick announcement and then we'll talk about today's objectives. I just wanted to let you guys know I read the work on the blog and I just wanted to say it's really great. Some of the blogs that you guys wrote are awesome. And it was also really nice to see just some of the books that you guys were reading, some of the stuff that you enjoy. So it's cool. I'm glad we've built this thing together and we're going to keep working on it. So now let's talk about some objectives for just this little quick video. So by the end of this, I hope that students will be able to differentiate between appropriate, insightful comments and unacceptable comments. So you're going to be able to tell the difference between the types of comments that we want to see and the types of comments that are just unacceptable. And we'll also learn how to locate your work from before, and we'll learn how to edit it a little bit and then put it out there and publish it on the front page. All right, so here's the game plan for today. We'll start by talking about making comments, then we'll talk about proper English, and then we'll talk about finding your old work and getting started. So let's start with making comments. So the internet is great because you can just put comments on all kinds of stuff all over the place, and it can be a really valuable tool for you to express yourself and for people to get some feedback. So one thing that's nice about our blog is that you can write comments on other students' blog posts, okay? But I want to just get the idea that our blog is part of school. So just because you're on the computer and just because we're out there on the internet doesn't mean this isn't a school thing. So we need to think about what's a school-oriented comment look like? What should we be commenting? So here's an example of a comment. Let's say you see this on the website. It says, comment from Mr. Caden 2 hours ago. I really liked that book too. It wasn't my favorite one in the series though. The next two books were even better. So that's an example of a comment. Here's a comment from Mr. Lippert on the same post, but it was 3 hours ago. What? Are you crazy? That book was terrible. You must be an idiot for liking it. Okay, and here's a comment from Miss Meese 45 minutes ago. I really didn't like that book. The characters didn't grab my attention. The plot was okay, though. And so these are three really different comments. And we're going to talk about each one and see which one we think is a good idea for school, which one's appropriate, and which one is just unacceptable. So let's start with the one from me first. I really liked that book too. It wasn't my favorite one in the series, but the next two books were even better. Okay, so I wrote that. Let's think about this. Is this a good comment? Is this something that we want to see? Well, let's think about a couple things. First of all, is it factual? Is it about facts? Or is it just like screaming and yelling and making fun of people? Well, let's see. It says that I liked it. That's a fact. It says it wasn't my favorite, and it says that I really liked the second one after that. So yeah, I think it is factual. And it also offers additional ideas and details. It's not just a bunch of junk that I threw on there. I said, hey, actually I like the other two books better. It offers additional ideas. Okay? So this is a great comment. It's factual. It just tells how I feel about the book, and it offers some additional ideas and details. It extends what was already there. Let's look at the one from Mr. Lippert. It says, what? Are you crazy? That book was terrible, with a lot of R's, all in capitals. And you must be an idiot for liking it. Okay, let's talk about this one. Is it factual? No, it's saying, are you crazy and what? And you must be an idiot. There's nothing factual really in this. Okay? Does it offer additional ideas and details? No, it just makes fun of the person who wrote it. Does it have some put downs in there? Are we insulting the person who wrote the original thing? Yes, okay, and that's unacceptable, just like it would be unacceptable in school. So this is a bad comment, and we're not going to put these kinds of comments up there. That's not what our blog is going to be. Okay, on the other hand, here's another comment. This one was from Ms. Meese. It says, I really didn't like that book. The characters didn't grab my attention. The plot was okay, though. What about this one? Is this one okay? Is it okay to say that you don't like the same book that somebody else likes? Well, yes, of course. That's a fact. I don't like this book. It's not my favorite book. And this one offers additional ideas and details as well, just like the other good one did. Talks about the characters, talks about how Ms. Meese feels about the plot. And so this one is okay. It's okay to disagree. You just have to disagree politely, not do any put downs, and just behave on the website exactly as you would in school. Everything that's acceptable in school is acceptable there on the blog. All right, so that's all about making comments. Hopefully you guys are great now at differentiating, which means telling the difference between appropriate, insightful comments and sort of unacceptable comments that we're really not going to see on the blog this year. Now let's talk a little bit about proper English, okay? And you can see I've spelled it in the way that you might spell it if you were writing it out on your cell phone. So I want to just give this idea that our blog is part of school, and I said that before, okay? And I'm going to say this very clearly right here, okay? There's nothing wrong with text language. The way you type on your phone, there's nothing wrong with text language at all. If you want to type that way, you can type that way all you want when you're on your cell phone, okay? But we need to practice, and it's an important skill in your life to practice between switching from the texting language to the academic language, to switching from academic writing like if that you would use at school, to the text language that you might use on Facebook, okay? And the reason why is when you go to some job interview someday, you need to write your resume and not have it be the same as when you're texting your friends at home, okay? So we need to be able to tell a difference between our professional way of writing and our social way of writing. And it's okay to have both. We just need to be good at what's called code switchers. We need to be able to do one when we're supposed to and the other when we're supposed to, okay? And for our blog, since it's part of school, it's academic writing, okay? And that means that we have to write with periods and capitalization and correct spelling, and that's okay. It might be a pain in the butt, but that's part of being in school. Okay, last little bit, I'm going to show you how to find the work that you've already been working on, and then you guys can stop listening to me and get started. So how do you find your old work? Let's go back to the Internet Explorer. Here we are in Internet Explorer, and we're going to go to www.mrcaden.com. Okay, and that's going to bring us to this place again, where we can click on the link that says Ms. Mises 8th Grade Readers Workshop site. So we click there, and here we are at the blog. Okay, you can remember the blue and white. We're going to put my username and password in, and if you forgot yours, Ms. Mies actually has a list at the front so she can help you. And I'm going to put mine in. Your username is usually your first name, and then your password was something silly that I made for you. You just put that in and then hit login. Okay, so now we're logged in, and if I actually look at this front page and scroll down, I can see all different posts that people put up. Right? You can see all the pictures that they have and some really interesting things to say. And so to comment on any one of these, I just click on the title of it. This one's by Omar. And then in the comment section, I can write an appropriate comment like we discussed with factual information, with additional details, and then you just hit save, easy. Okay, but let's go back. What if I want to find the work that I've already done, like I'm halfway through something and I want to keep going? Well, it's really easy. You can click on My Account over here. And if you click on My Account, there's a little tab up here that says My Posts. And if you click that, it'll show you all your different posts that you've done so far. And so if I click on this, this is a post I wrote earlier. Here I am. I've got this post that I wrote about my favorite book. But let's say I realize I have a spelling mistake or I didn't quite finish. When you're on the page for your post, you can click Edit, and then up will come the same editing window when I made the original post. And I can make all kinds of edits and do any other thing that I want, change the picture or anything. And then I just make sure this says Published at the bottom and hit Save. Alright, so that does it. We talked about making comments, differentiating between good, acceptable comments that are going to give some growth and experience to the website. We talked about using proper English and why it's okay to use text language when you're texting, and it's okay to talk on Facebook like that, but it's different when you come to school. And then we also learned how to find our own work by clicking on that My Account button on the left and then clicking on My Posts. So now you guys can go ahead and get started, and if you haven't finished your first post, you're going to work on that today, and if you have finished that already, then you can go around and start writing some comments on other people's posts and make sure we're writing excellent comments. Good work, guys. Keep going.